are your 5 drops of joy? So ever since COVID, and maybe for many even before that, they've really been battling to find joy in life. You know, every day is a slog. You wake up, you do the same things, same responsibilities, and it just seems to be getting a lot of people down. And as I say, since the pandemic, it seems to have been even worse. And that's largely because when we are under stress, we tend to hyper focus on things. We focus on solving a problem so that we can fix it and then keep ourselves safe. And that's basically what we've done. We've hyper focused. And because we've needed to hyper focus for such an extended period of time, I mean, we're looking at about 2 years, not all at the same intensity, but we've really needed to hyper focus. Some of us have lost jobs, some of us have been really sick, some of us have lost people that we've loved or cared for. So there's been a lot going on where our safety has felt as though it is in jeopardy. And we've needed to hyper focus on fixing the problem, taking us to a safe place. So what happens, if you have a look at my little pot plants here, we have things like health, we have finances, and perhaps we have survival. And we've been watering these pot plants furiously over the last couple of years, making sure that financially we can get through the month, fulfill our obligations, making sure that our health is keeping us in a state where we're not going to succumb to the deadly virus. And then we have survival, you know, just making sure we can get through a day, protect our families and all of that sort of thing. And of course that, coupled with the unrest that we've had in our country and even in the world, there's been a lot of unrest, and that makes us feel very unsafe, even if it's not on our doorstep, that feeling that things are not as safe as they should be. So what happens is we've been watering these pot plants, and we're making it, we're surviving. Most of us are getting through financially, and if you're not, you're at least managing to get food in your tummies. And then health-wise, if you're watching this video, health-wise you're doing pretty okay. Not to say that you may not be battling with health, but you're certainly managing to stay alive. So how do we find joy in all of this? And I want to bring us to your 5 drops of joy, and you can make them 5 drops, you can make them 3 drops, you can make them 2 drops if you need to, whatever's manageable for you. But we want to start hyper focusing on those little things that bring us joy, and that's going to be different for everyone. Okay, so if anyone knows me, probably my top drop of joy is going to be trail running, or it's going to be mountain biking. Okay, so that for me, when I do that, fills me with joy. And for that, those 2-3 hours that I'm doing that activity, I don't think of my finances, I don't think of survival. Well, I do if I'm mountain biking or depending on the length of the trail, but it's very different. But yeah, for that period that you hyper focused on joy, you're not thinking about the other stuff. And what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to strengthen the muscle of joy, because we haven't used it for a long time. It's tended to atrophy, so we're not using it as often as we need to. So we're going to start doing that. You might find that another drop of joy might be spending quality time with friends. And what you'll need to do when you decide what your 5 drops of joy are is you need to make them a priority. So for instance, I might say to myself that unless something drastic happens, every weekend I'm going to get onto a trail, whether it's on my feet or on my bike. And quality time, you know, once a week I'm going to meet with a friend and we're going to have lunch, or we're going to have a coffee, and we're going to just really connect. family, you know, maybe a drop of joy is getting the family together for family lunch, family dinner. You know, all the things that we were thinking about when we were all locked away in our homes, saying to ourselves, we really should be spending more time with family, or we really should be doing the things we love and not spending so much time on the things that drain us. Make those a priority. You obviously can't fill your days with just fun. For some people they can, they've managed to get themselves to that point, and that's amazing. But if you can't, find out what your 5 drops of joy are, make them a priority, and start exercising that muscle. You know, if you go through your day stressed and you've decided, right, I'm going to have half an hour of joy in the morning and an hour of joy in the evening, and you just hyper focus on that joy, you're going to find it will slowly start to grow and dilute the doom and gloom and that horrible feeling of feeling depressed or flat. So yeah, I mean, here's our little pot of joy, and that's what's happened. We haven't watered that little pot because we've needed to water the others. But now we can actually bring some of that water into there, and we can turn that into a nice, happy flower of joy. Okay, and as humans, we are built for survival, same as grass. You know, grass dies every season of winter. Well, most grass does, and then suddenly spring comes and you just start to see grass growing in the middle of nowhere. It has an amazing survival instinct, and so do we as humans. Okay, and then lastly, I thought of something this morning which I thought I would share with you. Okay, so just have a look at your joy. I haven't put those in, but it's quite self-explanatory. If we have a look at, so when you're feeling overwhelmed, I'd like you to think of the word rest, and it means restore, or for this purpose it does, for me, restore. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, you need to stop. You need to restore yourself. You need to get in some exercise, okay, and whether that exercise is playing with the dogs in the garden, running around the block, doing a trail, doing Pilates, whatever it is for you, get some exercise. So you want to get the body moving, because the body stores all that anxious energy, and what you want to do is you want to release it, the same as a wild animal would do when it's feeling stressed and anxious. You then want to strategize, okay? Get a plan together, because without a plan, you feel like you're a ship in the middle of the ocean being pulled to pieces by the waves. So get a plan, even if it's a basic plan. You can always change that plan along the way. And then take a breath, and move forward. I hope that has been helpful for you today.